Okay, apparently I just fell asleep and there was no bath. I agonized over that choice for nothing. Great. Friends. Why can't we be friends? Probably gonna be some Shalu shenanigans, if I'm gonna guess. He did? Huh? I wake up to the sounds of a conversation. Given that the only people to come into the master bedroom are me, Touya, and Uru in the morning, I sit up feeling somewhat puzzled. Is someone here?
Subsequently, and understood.
I could hear a conversation on the other side of the door. Uru's voice is always so stiff, but this time it felt a little more relaxed. That's rare. Who could he be talking to? I quietly got off the bed and peeked through the crack in the door. Her Majesty! Who's this guy? I'm sorry. Hello? Who's this one-eyed guy? Hello? You can't just like throw... Why? Man, Toya's got like all the new boys I've never seen before. Alright, sure.
Good morning, Her Majesty.
Good morning. Is there something you need from me? Perhaps thinking he'd be scolded for coming here a bit late, Uru turned around in a bit of a hurry. No. I just overheard a conversation and was curious. Are you two friends?
Yes, my name is Mull. I serve as the Chamberlain for Lord Touya.
I'm sorry, I've never met you ever before. Hello? Mull?
Yes, I'm Uru's brother.
You're Okay, I mean, you have the same eyes, but how? Genetics are wild. Now that you mention it, you do seem similar. Sure. They might be a few years apart, but their facial features, and especially their presence, were similar. Alright, take your word for it. Her Majesty, my bro, Mull, has come with a message for you from Lord Touya. From Touya? Speaking of, this morning Touya did go off to work early and I didn't get to see him. In addition to not giving me his message directly, he did seem to be in a hurry. At least he's finally sleeping, but he's still working too hard.
Yes, he said, I was going to come get you this morning, but Noel came to me with an urgent task. Apologies for leaving you alone. I should be able to come back by the afternoon, so why don't we have a light lunch in the courtyard? A different flower from before is in bloom. That's the message.
You remembered all of that in one go?
Yes, it's the words of our king.
As expected of Uru's brother. Got it. Thanks for the message.
Apologies for disturbing you so early in the morning.
He stood up straight and bowed correctly. Oh yeah, he's definitely Uru's brother. Sure. So, you've got a big brother? Yes. Before I became Her Majesty's Chamberlain, we worked together in serving Lord Touya. Mull is an excellent Chamberlain. You really look up to your older brother. Yes. Mull is what I aspire to be. So Uru has been imitating his brother's attitude and manner of speaking. What are the things your brother does that you respect? There's a lot of things, but the most would be his devotion. Devotion? Yes. He doesn't just follow orders. He thinks about his master and sometimes makes the best decision. That's something that I believe is very difficult to do. But Uru, you're doing that too. I'm still lacking in dedication, and I'm inadequate in a lot of ways. That's not true. Uru, you're the best servant for me. Her Majesty, you are far too kind, and sometimes I worry about you. What do you mean by that? I am your male servant. I don't get it. Ha! I pout a bit, not satisfied with his answer. Uru seemed a bit bothered, but also slightly smiled with a bit of happiness behind it. I am happy to serve Her Majesty. I am also thankful to Lord Touya for assigning me to such a good master, and I must devote myself further. His non-childlike way of expressing thanks, after listening to the current conversation, made him seem more cute. Uru's doing his best to be just like his brother, who he respects. But I wonder if he doesn't get tired always being so nervous. I might be speaking out of line, but I think sometimes it's okay to be wrong. What? For me as well as Touya, you don't always have to be so formal around us. Huh? This time Uru tilted his head. I giggled and patted my cute servant's head. Oh, you.
You would gather information in my name?
Yeah. I took a stroll through the courtyard with Touya, who had returned as promised. As we talked, I explained the idea I'd been constantly thinking about lately. I've been talking to people individually and collecting information on the rot, right? There might have been something I missed.
Something you missed?
I'm not a doctor, so as an amateur, there might have been something I missed. Maybe I heard something really important, but I didn't realize it, and that would be a waste. That's why we should create a space where the doctors can gather, openly collect information, and let them know that you're doing research on it. The women's fears may be eased a bit if they know you're working on things. And maybe this is me meddling, but right now you're taking on too much work. I think if you leave the medicine research to the doctors, and you just focus on collecting those results, that'll be the quickest way to achieve your goals. If you try to do everything by yourself, you only end up succeeding at nothing. Touya's eyebrows lowered, perhaps remembering him losing his composure in front of me the other day.
That's true.
He reminded me of a dispirited child who had just been scolded. Smiling wryly at this, I patted him on his bent back. That's why you should divide up the burden amongst everyone. This will put your supporters at ease as well.
Including you?
Hmm? He's probably wondering if I'm one of those supporters. I didn't know what to say for a moment, but then I responded in earnest. I decided that I wasn't going to be baffled by it anymore. I am your ally, aren't I?
That's right. Thanks.
I smiled slightly in response to his soft smile that seemed like it could melt away in the blue sky. We really do seem like a happy married couple. Duh. I hang my head in shame at this thought that bubbled up in the corner of my mind.
But in that case, will you be okay?
Me?
There are those who won't think favorably of you helping me.
Right. Well, that's fine.
I appreciate the thought, but I don't want you to get hurt.
You really are straightforward.
Hmm?
His refreshing inability to hide things always gets to me. I remember being perplexed by it at first, but now it's quite nice. That might be rude. He tilts his head as he waits for my response, and I find that to be cute. Cute? I tilt my head immediately after thinking it. Despite our differences in age and height, he doesn't seem that far off from me. And looking at him before me waiting for my response, I want to pat Touya on the head. It's strange. Like we knew each other so many years ago.
Naala?
I like how straightforward you are.
You like me?
Yeah. As a friend. Dang. No, friendzoning the husband again. Why are we like this? I take a step backwards as his response is way too intense. Touya closes the distance and firmly takes both my hands. His handsome face is pretty close to mine. He took that. I was just like, I love you. This guy has zero chill. He's great.
I love you too!
Okay. Thanks.
I love you! Love you lots!
Well... Yeah, I get it. You don't have to keep saying it. And you're hurting my hands. My hands didn't really hurt, but if he kept saying it at this extreme close distance, my heart wouldn't be able to take it. Even as good friends, those words at this distance is a little too much. The blush.
Sorry.
You're always so sudden. I said it as if pouting, but honestly, I was pretty happy. Honest feelings of affection give me courage. This is in order to confront the hardships that will be awaiting us. Good lord. There's a lot of people here. I haven't seen this background in a hot minute. In the afternoon, I went straight to the residence where the women are. I took a look around as everyone was gathered in the main hall. Against the wall, Shalu looked at me with her guard up. Hi! Okay, let's get started. I take a deep breath and speak from my stomach so that my voice will reach all corners of the room. Everyone, thanks for coming. How have you been lately? How have we been? Yeah. I was feeling a little down as I heard there was an incident the other day, but things have calmed down now. I see. As I feared, the attempted suicide sent waves throughout the community. Things may appear to be calm, but there's a heavy feeling in the air. There were also those who looked away, avoiding eye contact. This is not going to be easy. I realized many of you may still be coping with that incident, so my apologies for the timing, but there's something I'd like to talk about with all of you. Something to talk about. The first woman to respond acted as a representative for the group. As the talk proceeded, some of the averted eyes came my way. Yes, I'd like for you all to cooperate with me. Cooperate? Yes, in getting rid of the rot from this world. Get rid of the rot. A murmur gradually rose from the crowd. There were various reactions, from doubt to disbelief. I nodded, looking closely at those expressions. The Nasla king, Touya, is researching a cure. I'd like to get information from you for that purpose. The Nasla king? As the commotion spread, I look at the faces of the women. Some of them are glaring at me in anger. I knew this would happen, but I wouldn't be able to convince anyone of anything if I got emotional. I stood quietly, waiting for the voices of dissent to calm down. It took several minutes of patient waiting. As the murmur died down, I heard a thin voice emerge from within.
Miss Naala, you're working with the enemy? I'm completely against it. Nasla is the enemy! They're the ones who kidnapped us! They say they're researching the rot, but they might be deceiving you! I don't want to cooperate!
I see. Seeing her clutch her clothes at her chest, desperately trying to protect herself, it reminded me a lot of Shalu. Even if I had anticipated this response, it still stings. Miss Naala, why did you come to think you want to help out? Seeing Touya up close, I believe his intentions to stop the rot are genuine. Why does the king want to stop the rot? Touya believes that if he can cure the rot, he can appeal to the assembly and send us women back to Roos. A murmur different from before spread throughout the hall. I could hear voices of, "I don't believe it," and "There's no way!" Mostly voices of doubt. I let them speak until things calmed down again. If we can get rid of the rot, which is the reason why there's a shortage of women, then Nasla wouldn't have to abduct women. That's why I'd like for all those who can believe in me to cooperate with me. Please, I beg of you. Miss Naala, do you really believe they can make a cure? Honestly, I'm not sure yet. But rather than sit around, do nothing, and waste away, I want to fight. I believe that this is a fight that we women can wage here. A fight for us women. If this research succeeds, it'll lead to a change in relations between our countries. I do believe in that. This time there wasn't a clear response, but the murmurs continued for a while. May I say something? Yes? Does the Nasla King really think the rot is a disease? Yeah. And not a curse from the spirits? Not in the slightest. Is that true? Isn't that something a cursed people would say? I can say for sure that's not it. I see. The woman who spoke hung her head, unsure. In a sharp contrast, a biting voice rang out.
Isn't it just that they lack faith in the spirits?
I had the rot once. If it is a curse, that would mean that I lacked faith too.
But Miss Naala, you recovered!
If it is a curse, then that meant that I lacked faith. Also, my thoughts and feelings haven't changed from before getting the rot and afterwards.
May I also ask something?
Please.
Do you really think that the rot can be cured?
I can't make any promises for the immediate future, but I do believe that the research can lead to results someday.
Someday.
I'm sorry. I'm not an expert, so I can't say anything for sure.
Oh, no! Miss Naala, you don't have to apologize.
Why didn't the Nasla King come to talk to us? Well, it seems he's busy with his research. I see. To be more accurate, I didn't bring him out of fear of evoking a negative response. The women who asked paused for a while, either guessing at that or thinking of something else. I think that what Miss Naala is saying sounds great, but of course we all still have our fears. The Nasla King asked for our help before, but at that time as well, we couldn't quite trust him. But if Miss Naala says that you can trust him, then I'll think it over. Really? But there are feelings I can't get rid of.
No matter what you say, I'll never believe him!
Yeah, while I can't quite say it so clearly, there are parts of me who strongly agree with her. Miss Naala, I'm here having been ripped away from my husband in Roos. As such, I have zero intention of choosing a husband here. I want to go home no matter what. Interesting. So, I mean, I guess that makes sense. That, like, the men that went would have no idea who was married and who wasn't. It's just like, there's a woman. So, they also kidnapped some women who were already married. Makes sense. She spoke very clearly. I couldn't interject. If I'm being told to find happiness in this country, I simply cannot accept that. Of course, even if the Nasla King had to say that it was an unavoidable situation, even still, I can't believe in him so simply. Distrust, once felt, is not something that can be cleared away so easily. While waiting for her to continue, I felt something heavy welling up in the pit of my stomach. However, if the Nasla King truly wants to send us home, then I also think that working together is our best option right now. Thank you. Would it be possible to meet the Nasla King? Touya? I want to see him for myself, so that I won't regret anything. I understand. At some point, the room fell into silence. I could tell that everyone was thinking upon hearing my conversation with her. I'll bring Touya here. Will you listen to what he has to say?
Yes. Thank you, Miss Naala.
I hope it's not a ruse to try and kill him, because that would be unfortunate.
I see. If that's how it is, I'll go too.
After telling Touya everything that happened in the residence, Touya nodded deeply and smiled with concern for me. I was surprised as he patted my furrowed brow.
Sorry for giving you such a difficult job.
I hadn't realized it, but I must have had a pretty sour-looking face going. Thinking of tomorrow, Touya was probably depressed, but I was happy that he was able to guess how I was feeling. I'm sorry that I couldn't do more. I felt heavy thinking I'd put another burden on Touya's shoulders, even knowing that it's his duty as the king. The king really is in a lonely, harsh position. His personal wishes must go along with the country's direction. He's got to remain at the top even with many people not truly understanding him.
That's why I always say, you really don't know yourself.
Touya strokes my brow again with a wry smile. His fingertips, gentle as if to smooth away the wrinkles, followed my nose along the bridge before moving away. She's like, oh. After he moved his finger away, I realized I didn't feel bothered by the contact. I'm no longer wary of him being in close range.
Your existence alone gives me strength. You being here saves me.
Just me being here.
My beloved ally, you give me more hope than you realize.
For example?
Right, well... For example, whenever we're in the same space together, I'm so happy that I could cry.
Sounds like you're hitting on me.
It does sound that way.
Even just as friends, being called beloved sent waves through my body. My heart raced, and my brow where he had touched felt hot.
Will you go with me tomorrow?
Of course. I squeezed his hand, which had taken mine gently, with determination. Hooray. As one. You got guts showing your face here, kidnapper. Shalu. Entering the residence's hall where the women were gathered, I frowned at the words that had been immediately thrown at us.
Shalu, he came here upon our request today in order to talk.
Solana, you shut up! There's nothing I want to hear from him.
I want to hear what he has to say.
As others chimed in, Shalu twisted her lips, forced into silence.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Well then, let's hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
The woman who said she wanted to hear Touya out yesterday stood in the middle, acting as the organizer. With his turn up, Touya took a step forward.
As you heard yesterday, I am researching a cure for the rot. But here in Nasla, we don't have enough information, and there's many things we just don't know about. Therefore, if possible, I would like to ask you Rus women some things. This is my request. And I know you probably don't want to hear this from me, of all people.
Touya took a moment to pause, pursed his lips, and after a few seconds, he spoke with the strength of a confession.
I'd like to do everything I can so that you all can go wherever you want to. Those are my thoughts.
But that doesn't mean you intend to let us go home anytime soon, does it?
My apologies.
You think you can say sorry and that makes everything better? What a lousy king!
Yes, I am the king. And as such, I must protect the country's norms. If the king breaks the rules as he pleases, the country will fall into chaos.
That's nonsense! Send us home immediately!
My apologies. I will do everything I can so that you can return quickly. But for now, that's all I can say.
You don't really intend to send us home, do you?
Shalu!
Shut up, Solana! You want to be here!
Shalu. Her strong desire to return to Roos was felt clearly by everyone. It cut through the murmur. Perhaps because of their similar positions, Shalu was silenced by her rebuff.
May I ask a question?
Yeah, ask me anything you like.
We heard from Miss Naala that the research on the rot could lead to changing the relations between Roos and Nasla, but I want to hear it directly from you.
If we're able to cure the rot, Nasla will become more stable. If that happens, I might be able to convince the ministers who want to keep you women here.
That's a roundabout way to address things.
I won't deny that. But I believe that the rot is the root of the problem. So if we can eliminate that problem, then we'll have freed ourselves of that shackle.
See? If you believe in these lies, you'll be stuck waiting here forever!
I can't say you'll go home soon. Promises that can't be kept are insincere, I believe. However, for as long as I am the king, I will continue to do everything I can to return you to where you want to be. That I can promise you here. I don't know how many years this will take. However, I need your help in order to shorten that time.
I found myself clenching my fists as I stood next to Touya as he spoke. It hurt as my fingernails dug into my palms, but I had to do this in order to keep myself in check. Although all the arrows were pointed at Touya, I felt terribly nervous.
Is that so?
The woman acting as the organizer exhaled slowly. She then took a breath and looked around.
Everyone? What do you think?
The women began to clamor upon being asked about their decision.
I'm against it! I'd never help Nasla!
I'm for it. We should do whatever we can do. As these polar opposite opinions clashed, tension filled the air. Then...
I think we can cooperate.
What are you saying?
But if we continue to do nothing, we might end up getting the rot someday. Things are calm now, but that could change and we'd be in the middle of it all.
That's...
In that case, I'd like to take my chances, no matter how small.
The air in the room was heavy with the women's unrest. After a few moments of silence, voices saying, "That's true," could be heard from the crowd.
Really?
Yeah. If you'll keep the promise you just made.
I swear, I will do everything in my power to return you all home.
This is the voice of someone who is voicing their determination. A voice that wasn't just sincere, but with a hint of bitterness. I wasn't the only one having their emotions being violently shaken up.
Miss Naala.
Yes?
Even hearing his voice now, I still have my doubts.
She addressed me while still looking at Touya.
I can hear conviction in his voice. However, I still can't quite trust him. So, Miss Naala, will you tell us your opinion again?
Her voice trembled a little as she asked. Though it sounded calm, it might have been the most tense in the room. Suppressing her anger and fear, she confronted me. I spoke, feeling gratitude for her strength. I believe in Touya. As soon as I said it, I could see the strength drain from her shoulders.
Well then, Nasla King. No, Lord Touya. In this case, let's work together.
Ah. Yes, please. I would be indebted.
Seeing Touya deeply bowing his head made me want to cry endlessly. This may have just been the first step, but it was a huge step. Seems like we made progress. That's good. The organizer woman agreed, so many other women followed suit. We had more than 2/3 of the women agree to help. And for those who are still on the fence, they might change their minds if they can see the results of the research.
There's still those who are avidly against it.
Yeah, well. Shalu and some of the others were unable to suppress their revulsion towards Nasla. They refused to the end. But this is a major step forward.
It is.
Touya, who might not have settled down yet, smiled wryly as he continued to hold the materials. You'll be back hard at work tomorrow, right? So take the day off today.
What? You're still worried about me?
I haven't forgotten how you were on the verge of collapse.
You're strict.
How far will you push yourself if I don't stop you? You're like a horse cart running downhill.
That's an awful analogy. But perhaps you're right. I shouldn't worry you so much.
That's right.
Thank you. But I am happy to have you worried about me.
You don't have to be so formal. All right, time for bed. You've got an early day tomorrow.
Okay. I pray that the spirit of good sleep shall visit you.
I roughly pull the covers up over him, then gently pull them back. I feel a warm hand pat my shoulder, then quickly pull away. Good night. I'm too embarrassed to say it out loud, so I say it internally. Shortly thereafter, Touya and the Roos women began their research on the rot. According to Touya, a laboratory will be set up in the near future. If this means there will be less pressure on Touya, then that's great news to my ears. In exchange for setting it up, Noel requested that he dedicate himself to his kingly duties for a while, which disappointed Touya. Perhaps because the restrictions would be applied soon, Touya is more enthusiastic today.
A well?
Yes, there is a well. The women sit in front of Touya and talk to each other.
Downwind?
Yeah, the people downwind successfully. I remember it well, as the rumors were that the wind carried unlucky things. How are you feeling?
Yeah, thanks to you. I've found something interesting thanks to listening in.
Interesting.
Look at this.
There were many red marks on the continental map that Touya opened.
These marks are the area where the outbreak of the rot were reported.
What's this line? There aren't many marks around here.
It's the border between Nasla and Roos.
The borderline.
Yes, in other words, the Seg River.
Then are the Seg River waters the cause?
No, I can't say for sure without a little more scrutiny. Perhaps some information hasn't come out yet.
Is it the Seg River? But some of those who drink that water are dead. What's the difference between me who got the rot and lived, and those who died? Come to think of it, I never told him that I'd had the rot.
What's wrong?
Touya, who seems to have wondered about the silence, looks at me. I considered it for a moment, thinking that it might be creepy to say that I had the rot. However, I don't think Touya would think that way. It's strange that I'm hiding in safety while everyone else is cooperating. Touya? Actually, I told him that I had survived the rot, along with as much information as I could remember. Finally. She finally admits it. It's been under wraps forever. As expected, I'm relieved that there is no reaction that abhors me. Touya was surprised at first, and gradually became calm and listened quietly.
Well, is there anything else you can remember?
I thought about it, but I have a vague memory of when I had a high fever. I bite my teeth awkwardly. If I could remember, this might be a huge step towards finding a cure. I'm sorry, that's all I have at the moment.
No, that's more than enough. More than that, I'm glad you trusted me.
Huh?
You came to want to talk, right?
Yeah, but I wish I could remember more that might be useful.
Let's go fast, but not rush things. I think that's the best route for us.
Right. I respond while still feeling hurried. What else was there at the time? Given time, I could remember something else, but my broken memories don't come to mind easily. I don't know why, I'm starting to get like this vision in my head that she was sick and, whatever she called Touya at the time. That kid that she ran into in like the field of red flowers. Heard she was sick, didn't know it was the rot, but like brought flowers from that field to her to be like, hey, heard you were sick, hope you feel better. And it was like that cured her because she like smelled the flowers. Or something, you know? I don't know. I'm just like inserting things, but I like to imagine that he actually saved her back then, and then it all like gets tied in here years later. I think it'd be pretty dope, but we'll see. It can be said that the information gathering is generally proceeding smoothly with the cooperation of the women of Rus. However, it was also true that some women refused to help Touya, perhaps because of their beliefs, and Shalu was one of them. She must think of me as a complete traitor. She avoids me more than before. So, it was a complete coincidence that I came across Shalu that evening. Shalu? She ignored me calling out to her and walked quickly. I hurriedly went around in her direction. What? We fell into an awkward silence. There were a lot of things to talk about, but I couldn't speak. I never thought things would be like this. We'd always been together, walking beside her on the same road, but now Shalu and I are on differing paths. Even if I wanted to walk together, that was a one-sided dream. Hey. Yeah? It was Shalu who broke the silence. However, we fell into silence again. It seemed as if she had trouble opening her own lips. Somewhat different from Solana, Shalu also has the trait of keeping things bottled up inside. If Solana's silence is to protect what's important, Shalu's silence is to send everything else flying away. If you have something to say, just say it. Shalu. Shalu's gaze was cast in the shadow of her feet. The shadow created by the red sun is dark. Deceived. What? You're being deceived. That's not the case. No, he's fooling you. Unlike Solana, you didn't get to choose. And that was because of my failure. Shalu. The line of sight intersects with Shalu, who raised her face. Her glaring eyes hurt the back of my chest. I couldn't get you back home, so I just had to keep looking for a way for you to get back to Rus. That's what she's thinking. Despite being crushed by guilt, nevertheless, she was holding it in all by herself. I felt like I could understand the reason for her stubborn attitude. She did what she did believing she was helping me, so she couldn't betray her own feelings. Shalu, I know that you did your best for my sake. Maybe not all, but I'd like to alleviate you of some of your feelings. But Shalu, I'm not being fooled and just falling in line. It's a lie! You're saying that because you don't want to hurt me! No. I did want to help Touya. Lies, lies, lies! I don't want to hear that!
Listen, Shalu. I said so to everyone before, but I do believe that Touya's ambition is real. To be honest, I don't hate it. I feel like meeting Touya is part of my mission.
Mission?
Even if I were to leave this country now, I'd always live in fear of the rot and Nasla's kidnapping of women. I don't want to live a life of running away. If there's a way, I want to fight. Even if that hurts my relationship with you. I knew my words were tough, but I wanted her to know my true intentions because Shalu is important to me. So, you don't have to worry about me anymore. I was a little angry. By not believing in me, Shalu had brought this upon herself.
Ooh, interesting. Hearing that from Naala's perspective. Still, this is like the best conversation you guys have had in a hot minute, and I'm here for you guys actually communicating. This is great.
That means you don't want to be friends anymore. No. I'm talking like this because I want to be friends with you. I want to live in a world free from the rot, together with you and Solana.
You won't say that you want to go back to Roos.
Shalu's lips, awkwardly smiling, trembled. The voice that leaked out before long was short and staggered.
I hate that guy. I despise him. I hate all men. I hate Nasla, who took you away from me.
Shalu.
You idiot!
Shalu shouted out to block me calling out to her, but that gradually became weaker.
You idiot.
Shalu,
That's enough. That's enough. I got it. I understand. You ended up choosing something other than me. No, you really don't get it. Oh, girl. Progress was being made. I should have known from the beginning that you wouldn't choose me. A small, weak voice is sucked into the scarlet cobblestones. I'm still, so interested in this, obsession of Shalu with Naala. She involuntarily avoided my outstretched hand, and Shalu's body moved away. Get out of the way! I don't feel like talking now. Shalu! Don't follow me! I just want to cool off for a bit. The wind, which began to cool at night, patted my cheeks. I was stuck staring at the back of my best friend, who was moving away. I feel like she's gonna still go forth with a crazy plan, but I'd like to be proven wrong. That would be nice.
Everyone who provides information on the rot should line up and get a number tag from the person in charge. The day after parting with Shalu, I was helping out with Touya's work. Even in difficult situations, I can't afford to stop. If this is your second time, please get into the row with the yellow flag. If this is your first time, the row with the blue flag.
Miss Naala, how about those of us coming here for a third time?
Third-timers, can you line up here? The number of women who provided information on the rot was increasing day by day. I've got to work hard today, too. I can't help but feel depressed because of my personal affairs. When I thought so and raised my face...
Is it okay for new participants to join this line?
Shalu? Shalu approached us as people in the row glanced over. Looking at my gazing face, she sharpened her lips with a sulky expression.
What? You look like you saw a monster.
I'm sorry. I was just surprised. To be honest, it feels like I'm dreaming. In yesterday's discussion, I didn't think she understood me.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not convinced of everything. I still hate Nasla men.
Yeah.
But I figured I could cooperate in order to cure the rot. I'm just cooperating. I have no intentions of being all friendly.
That's more than enough. Thank you, Shalu. I don't need thanks. And I'm not doing this for you. I know. I'm really not. Still, thank you. So, this line? Yes. Will you get a number tag first? Alright. Shalu, who, looking restless, walked around while looking around. Despite her reluctance, it seems that she intends to keep order. Alright, I'll give you a chance, girl. But I'm still squinting at you. I'm still gonna be watching you with one eye open. Don't take it personal. I just have bad memories. Thank goodness. We haven't reconciled completely yet. Still, I relaxed my cheeks with the joy of moving forward.